Hey guys, welcome. This is the first stream of the first update of Endless Space 2, so we're all, kind of nervous and excited. With me today, I have Maxence and Romain. So for those of you who are not familiar with the team, Romain here is one of the studio's co-founders and also our creative director. And Maxence here is lead designer, so you've seen him on the forums under the name Midoc. And Romain here is posting as Space Troll. So those are certainly names that if you follow the, what's going on with our games, you've seen them. So today we've quite a few things to discuss. So first off, we're gonna say, briefly go over everything that's new, all the cool things, the things we've listened to you to add and change in the game. And also the new things we're adding, the new content. So obviously, as you've seen from the music and the news on Twitter and Facebook, there is quite a bit of stuff coming in. So well, I have to say, how about we just start and go ahead with the video intro? All right, let's roll.
Under the visionary leadership of Emperor Zelivus, we have become a proud and powerful nation. It is time to rise up, grasp our future, and seek our destiny among the stars. Imagine the future that we can build. We shall construct great fleets, send them out to make great discoveries, and through their conquests, secure our place in this rich galaxy. We will discover new sciences and new life. We will greet new peoples and turn them into new patriots. Together, we shall leave our mark on history. For together, we can become anything our hearts desire. Whatever the cost, whatever the effort, let us not shy away from the greatness that is our birthright.
Okay, so I don't know what you guys think, but we're really pleased with this video, I think. So first off, before we introduce the Empire, Romain here with us is gonna talk about, a view from the high level, the things he's seen, and how he feels we're gonna progress moving forward with the updates.
Yes. Thank you all for being here today. So we've been out in early access for over a month and a half now, I think.
Yep.
So yes, it's been an amazing moment because we've been waiting for so long to be able to release the game to you guys, so you could play it, give us all this feedback. Obviously, there are quite a few things to discuss. One, number of updates. Tonight at 7 p.m. I think. Well, you should be able to play the first update of the game, so of the early access. So it's pretty lengthy. You could imagine what we could do is 6 weeks. We need to wait a bit of time between each update because we need to work on the elements a lot, to rework them. So it takes a while. Also, we have some big features coming in. For example, like just the United Empire is not a small feature. It's something big. It's just really hard to balance, and as you will notice tonight, it's difficult to balance already, especially when you will look at the Emperor's will. You'll see it's a great way. We'll discuss a bit later to have things done the way you want them to. Anyway, so that takes a lot of time. Some big discussions on the forums. Obviously, the battles is one of them. The tech tree is another one. So it's part of the things that we are working on. We're definitely taking into account a lot of your feedbacks. We also had the new ideas, elements on the forums being available, where some of you already posted, their ideas for the game, included some for the plants. Who was actually posting on the plants?
Xor Unison and Lo Fabre.
So it was a very good submission of ideas from them. So actually we spent some time with Maxence to try to see actually how we could improve the colonization of our planets in the game from the beginning, what planets would be available. So it's one of the things. Let's go back to the battles. We are working on two main things. One is to add more interaction with the player and the battles before you start the battle, so it's more strategic. The second one is to, when the battle plays, to better understand, the consequences of your decisions. It takes a long time, so that's why you will not see that in update 1 tonight. It's already still in the work. I'm not even sure it's for update 2. It's maybe some will be in
We're
update 2.
aiming for update 2, but we are not sure we can deliver everything.
Yeah, so probably partially in update 2, and we hope to be ready for update
There are still
3.
some new changes on the battle, but we can discuss that a bit later, I think.
Yeah, we'll see. We're going to try our best for update 2, but as usual, with all game development, you know that it's prone to slippage. So we'll try our best.
So that's the thing. Tech Tree, we doing a lot of work on that as well. So again, it will take a long time to do it. The idea is to be closer to what we did with Endless Space 1. Obviously, for us, the way we look at Endless Space 2, and there's been some discussions about the vision of Endless Space 2 compared to Endless Space 1, compared to Endless Legend. So obviously, and especially me, I definitely had the vision of Endless Space 1, Endless Legend, Endless Space 2. I can tell you that Endless Space 2 is for us and for me the child of both games, and that's maybe a tricky thing to do, and that's maybe what some of you were surprised about. But we did some great stuff in Endless Legend that we definitely learned from, and we did not want to say, oh no, it's just Endless Legend, we can't add it, to Endless Space 1. Some of this stuff, wanted to try to push to Endless Space 1. That was including the Tech Tree. Tech Tree is we love the freedom that we had with Endless Legend, but it's true that sometimes you could get lost. Sometimes it's hard to know where you are. It's hard to balance. So that's why we are looking into being closer on our next iteration to what we offered with Endless Space 1. That will be a big change, basically. So again, I don't think we'll be for update 2, probably for update 3. So we have 4 updates planned. So that's why when we talk about this update, to give you an idea. So far, this first update took us 6 weeks to do. The plan is for each update to take between 4 to 6 weeks. We need time of production creation and then time to polish. So it's more or less like so far it's been like a month of production and 2 weeks to polish. Okay, so let's go back to what we...
I was going to say, I've seen that we have actually quite a few of you that are non-English speakers in the chat. So just in case we're wondering in terms of updates, what the roadmap is for the language editions, we're aiming for a date that is fairly close to release. So that would be, again, early next year. And for the couple, for the 3 people in here who are playing on the Mac, the Mac build should be pretty much around that window, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what we do usually, what we do with previous games, we always wait until the very last moment to add new languages on top of English and other versions on top of the PC version at the very end. So when we have to update and patch, we have. It's easier for us basically to only focus on one, which is PC, and only English. Obviously, it's not a way to favor a language over the other. As you guys know, we're French. We could have done it in French, but I guess not, a lot of people would play it in French. So that's why we just do it in English for now, and then we'll look at other languages. And I see there are a lot of Russians. There, Russian is definitely a language we want to have at release. And quite a few others I will not reveal today. Okay.
Let's dig into the specifics. So of
Updates.
course, yeah,
One?
we've seen the United Empire intro. So you want to introduce the Empire?
Just the big idea. Some of you could notice maybe some references we would have with these guys. Of course, we love that.
Let's bring up the. We actually have the Emperor to show you guys and the mood as well. So look at him; he's beautiful.
So basically, yes, so they're back from Endless Space 1, and you know it's that very Russian-inspired civilization that you know is Earth basically, or Earth-like, because it's not really Earth. You know, it's a Earth-like planet. It's very industrial. It's very militaristic at the same time. Beautiful uniforms, you know, and they want to expand, you know. So that's who they are. That's who you are when you want to play humans. They are nearly the only human race that we'll have in the game. We'll let you guys discover some more later. But that's it. The idea that we have also with them, they should be easy to play. We don't want to have a very complex way of playing the human race, because it's often is one of the first civilization that you want to play, because it's easy to identify yourself to that civilization. So that's why we are going with simple things to use. One of them being your affinity, and that's what we call the Emperor's Will. The Emperor's Will will let you use influence, not only to use politics, but also or diplomacy, but also to be able to tell your people to do something right now. And you will use influence for that. Instead of using dust, for example, to finish like a ship or a building, you will use influence for that. What else can we use influence for?
It's mainly to buy technologies instantly, to acquire new buildings or ships, and to use it on the marketplace. We'll discuss later.
So the thing is, just the technology, to be able to have like a straight ahead technology without having to wait for the research time is pretty unique and very strong.
And to make it meaningful, you generate influence when you finish building something. So they still have this industrial feeling, because they have to build things to generate influence, to then be able to use it as a Joker card, a trump card.
So it's still something like we're working on, and I hope you guys will help us work on that to have this great new ways to generate influence, so you can use it even more, whether it's in your usual means, but also to these new means to use it.
So I see a lot of questions about are they Russian? Are they Prussian? They're not really Russian. For me, for instance, I see a lot of similarities with the Emperor and the Imperial family in Dune. I don't know if you guys are fans of Dune. I guess so, being strategy players. So for me, it's really like all in uniform. So with the songs and themes, it can be fairly Russian. But I think the guy who said Prussian over there is actually not that far off as well.
So whenever we create a faction, we never entirely take it all from one. Like civilization, culture, empire, like in history, we always mix and match stuff that that we like, that we believe fit well together. Sometimes we even mix different time periods to arrive something that we quite enjoy. Even like the Russian inspiration that we have here, like would mix over like several time periods from Russian history. So it's a big mix. Definitely some Persian influence as well, like Tsar influence. Communist Russia influence, like USSR influence. It's quite a lot of it, and you'll see it, with the industrial kind of side. You kind of find that back. So it's a big mix.
Mm-hmm. Also, I see a lot of questions in the chat. We have a couple of people. Weaponized Caffeine, for instance, is monitoring the chat, and we'll answer some of them. But for the rest of you, we'll actually have a bit later during the gameplay session, we'll be able to take your questions during the stream. So don't worry about it. If you got a question, you didn't get an answer, we'll get to it.
Okay. So anyway, that's one of the main stuff.
Do you want to talk about the story? What's no?
Well, I can. I know a bit about their story, so let's just bring them back up just to get in the mood of things. So the story, basically, contrarily to the first Endless Space, for those of you who've been with us all this time, the big difference is that we're seeing an empire that is, a lot younger, basically, because it's been running for a few decades. But it's basically the Emperor Zelevas is basically the first one to sort of have asserted his power over the rest of the aristocracy of the empire. And so the story that you have is that things start going. I'm really not going to start spoiling, but in a couple of hours you'll be able to find out all about it. Things start going really oddly, and it seems to be harkening back to the days when he's had to really show his strength and really take control away from the rest of the families. So it's kind of the past coming back to bite him in the butt. So really it's pretty much what Endless Space is all about. It's all the decisions you make and the effects they have on you in the long term, and this is what Zelevas is going to find out. So that's it for the story, and we hope you guys enjoy it.
Okay, so obviously that faction is one big element of the update tonight. It's quite a lot of other things that will let actually Maxence interest to you, like including the new manufactions, marketplace, era 4, and technology.
So we could start with minor factions.
Let's bring them up.
There will be 3 new ones that has been revealed recently. Amoeba that were in Endless Space. Yeah, maybe it could be interesting to explain why we want to introduce some previous major as minor.
Okay.
Because it's something that is
We have
by
a
some
few
players.
questions, a lot of questions about this.
So
It's everybody's favorite starting faction, I guess. It was mine. It's how I started the game. Like, you see the whole map. It's cool. Why not this time around then?
So the thing is, when we started working on Endless Space 2, we had 2 choices, right? We could either have just kept the same 8 factions that we started with Endless Space 1 and just do the same with Endless Space 2. But for us, it was a bit too bad because we wanted to try out new factions as well. So we had to choose a few factions that would be emblematic of Endless Space 1. And when asking people, everyone had a different favorite one than the other. So basically, with the poll, we always had a bit like around 15%, 20% for all factions across well spread, So Amoeba was the favorite by many, Unit Empire by many others, so the Cravers. Anyway, they were all popular. It's still our goal with Endless Space 2, and by introducing new factions, also to refresh the gameplay. Yet, these factions, that we created in Endless Space 1, for us, they still are part of the universe. They're not gone. So we definitely wanted to show some of the ones we loved, and to be still present as minor faction in Endless Space 2. Except, they won't have a player to lead them, to the next evolution of their cycle. They will stay a minor faction. So maybe you will decide to include them in your empire, and with you, they will expand some more. So you can't kind of bring them back to power, but you will have to go meet them and include them in your empire. So that's what we do with the Amoeba, the Pilgrims.
Okay, let's bring them up.
Back as well.
So one of the other faction humans you were talking about earlier.
That we love from Endless Space 1 as well. So we worked a bit differently. There are some of the looks, they evolved a bit from Endless Space 1, a bit less mystic, a bit more cool and modern.
Yeah, more on the Explorer side. They're still linked to religious stuff, and they might have some influence on the story.
It's not as obvious visually when you see that.
And there is a third one, a new one, who are the Zvali.
Yeah, let's bring them up.
Yeah, it's some kind of space geeks, fond of new technologies and spending lots of time in the virtual world. So they are really different from. It might be one of the paths of humanity, but made by Alien.
We'll see that very soon, I guess.
Yeah, with all this transhumanism. And with the 3 minor faction, we also introduce a new, what we call culture. So far they were all scavengers, using pirate ships and extra.
Mm-hmm.
And from now on, a few ones have been switched to Eusocial. Eusocial is a concept I didn't know before working on Endless Space 2. It's the idea of people sharing the same mind, the same spirit, a bit like ants, wasp.
Okay.
Yeah, and extra.
Mostly Hive stuff, so
Yeah,
or
it's the
other
idea of
kinds of
hives.
society.
It can be other society. It's really the idea of sharing mind and knowledge together. So
Okay.
Amoeba is eusocial, for instance,
Okay.
and the Evians that were in the game before
Uh-huh.
are also eusocials.
Okay.
And so they will have their new set of ships, one small and one medium ship that you will be able to encounter and to fight, obviously.
Okay, so one thing we haven't mentioned yet, but that is very important, and that we'll showcase during the gameplay stream, is that a new way of interacting with the minor factions is through quests.
Yeah.
So there is a new way of making friends. Now you're not longer just bribing them or punching the daylights out
We
of them.
wanted to do it from the beginning. We didn't have time for the release of the early access, so now it's back. You can, as in Endless Legend, when you meet a minor faction, you have a new option that is assist them, and so they will deliver a quest. And if you solve it, you will assimilate them. So it can create interesting tension because you might be solving the quest, and last minute someone arrives and invades the system, and you lost all the time you invested to try to help them. So
Okay.
it might be interesting to still protect them while you're doing the quest if you have aggressive neighbors in the surroundings, for instance.
Okay. So the rest of the new stuff we have, I think a big piece coming in is the marketplace.
Yeah, marketplace. We loved the idea we put with Endless Legend, but we know we had some issue on the price management, so we tried to go back on that to reapproach how the price
control
curves.
as designers.
To have a better control on the curves on how you as player will be able to play with it to make money out of that. And the other big difference with the marketplace is it will be a wonder that you will be able to build, and the one that will own it will have some benefits like owning the money from transactions and being able to set the taxes.
So you get a cut on everyone's payment.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Okay.
And as a wonders, it's part of the deeds, you know.
Oh, that's a new system that's going.
Yeah. I'm switching from one subject to
Okay.
the other.
Yeah, I'm following up. Let's
To
go.
stay back on the marketplace, you will find the same options than in Endless Legend. You will be able to trade both strategic and luxury resources.
Mm-hmm.
You will be able to buy and sell ships and heroes. For the heroes, we are changing a bit because you will have less of them, and they will be really expensive, as you already have the academy that will feed you with some heroes.
Okay.
For the ships, you will be able to buy them and turn them as privateers. All ships you buy in the marketplace is tagged as a mercenary, and if you build a fleet of mercenary, you can turn them into Black Flag, as we did in Endless Legend. So basically, you can use those ships from marketplace, turn them as privateers, and you will appear as a minor faction for.
Okay, so
players.
another way of stabbing your friends in the back,
Yeah.
which is apparently what the game is all about. I didn't know that, but then my friends actually stabbed me in the back multiple times every game, and that's why I learned that they were not really my friends. But yeah, they love it. I'm more of a friend, but yeah.
Two questions I'd like to answer to. Marketplace, only one ever from Iblis. When you create the wonder, everyone can access the marketplace.
You can-
Actually, you
can
already have access before.
You have access before.
You just have you have a better access to it by having price reductions, getting a
Yeah.
cut from all the other transactions and stuff. So it's one place in the universe. When you control it, it will give you better access, but you already have access before that. Then Shoki is asking if there will be some action, not just TikToks.
Yes.
Later on, Maxence will actually play the update 1 to show you actually some of this stuff in game. Actually, that will be pretty soon. Actually, we'll just discuss Era 4 technology now.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back on tech. We're discussing
Marketplace,
Deeds,
Deeds, yeah.
because it's linked to the tech
Yeah.
tree. So in Endless Legend, we added with the first expansion Guardians, I think.
Yeah.
The idea of wonders and deeds. So for each era, you have 3 challenges to solve, which are competitive objectives. And the first that reach it will obtain a big reward. For the update 1, we didn't have time to implement all of them, so we'll only have the wonders that are here, and in the next update we'll add the deeds completely.
Mm-hmm.
So the wonders is an industrial challenge for every era.
Okay.
Each of them is really powerful, really costly, and yeah, you need to be the first to build it, and it's really quite a game changer.
So it should favor the Unity Empire so far. Because
they will have some advantages.
So,
Yeah.
so there will be deeds that will not be wonders that would
No,
be
you-
buildable. That you will be able to get through other means than just industry, right?
The idea is to distribute them
Okay.
between the different game system we have and different philosophy. So each faction has chances for different deeds.
Okay, just making
And
sure.
They fit also with the game pace and what you're supposed to do. So in year 1 you will have exploration deeds or expansion deeds, while in year 3, 4 it will be more diplomatic deeds or
Okay.
militarist deeds.
All right,
Which makes sense.
let's move on to era 4.
era
Era 4,
4.
finally.
Yeah.
what's
So
the-
Era 4 out of 5.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky because during the process we wanted to change deeply the tech tree. So we're a bit aware that what we've done may change completely depending on the next weeks because of your suggestions and your feedback. But so we kept working as if we are not changing anything to keep some continuity with what we delivered so far. The idea of Era 4 is to actually we didn't change only Era 4 but all the previous era as well, because with the new features we developed, we added new technologies there and there, we refined some of the process, but we'll show that in game later. So era 4 is missing a bit of exotic technologies because the gameplay that are supposed to arrive at that stage of the game are not yet here. So we focus on classical technology so far, but the idea is to emphasize this relationship between empires. So you have a few buildings that provide feeds, but that will favorite specific diplomatic attitude, like will have more science for pieces you signed or alliances, or in the opposite you have more industry for each war you are leading.
Okay.
So you have different advantages depending on your stance regarding other empires. And you still have new features like terraformation. You will be able to terraform planets,
Oh, nice.
even if it will change completely thanks to thanks to your recent ideas.
Well, still Terraform.
Yeah, it's still terraforming, yeah, but the process of terraforming will be a bit different. Then a bit we have a few other things, but I'm not sure. Well, we'll see that in game in detail.
Yeah,
Sorry,
all,
but
all the things we might
I'm
have to
jumping
just-
from one subject to
Yeah,
another.
so I think we've pretty much covered the biggest changes. Anyway, you'll have a full detailed patch notes available as soon as the update releases.
So we'll be up to 200 turns. Thanks
yeah,
to
that's
that
true.
to be able to.
Yeah.
So that's basically the score victory will arrive 200 turns. So we have more time now. You'll still be able to continue if you want after that. Again, we don't recommend it, but if you want, you can. So you're not frustrated. Voila.
We changed a few things that were really annoying you, like the force truce has been revamped a bit.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So from now, since the beginning of the release, when you reach a certain moment of the war, the opponent could force a truce on you, and so you didn't have any choice. The war stopped
Okay,
there,
that's gone.
and that's gone. Now, when someone asks for a truce, you can still refuse it, but your people will be unhappy, and so you will suffer some approval penalty.
Okay.
And so, if your empire is stable enough, you can keep going and try to kill the opponent. But after a few turns, you will be able to ask for another truce. And so, it's a fight of endurance. Are you able to sustain the approval penalty until finishing him, or will you have to stop?
So it's only when the other empire was able before to do a forced truce
Yeah.
on you, so it really was able to kind of
Yeah,
be in
that's-
a good position.
Yeah, so you still have the first
Mm.
wartime,
Yeah.
then you have a truce threshold,
Yeah.
and you suffer from the penalty, then you buy extra turns of war,
Yeah.
and extra. We know that it's not logical for creators, and we will certainly change that for the future, but first we wanted to test the system as a whole
Okay.
before doing exotic changes.
All right, so
Because
hold
we-
on to your
we
feedback. on
want
the
your
creators.
feedback on the global system before adjusting
Okay.
by creating asymmetrical functionality.
Okay, so
on
you want the system to work.
Yeah, and be sure that
Okay.
it's the proposition you were awaiting.
Any of the changes we did to the ship designs?
Oh,
ship
at
battles.
least one?
Ship design, we changed a lot of things. Archer worked a lot on it. So, first of all, we moved the constraints because before each hull had weapon constraints.
That
now
were hidden.
it's gone. Yeah,
We were
they-
hidden,
they
nobody
were
knew
hidden.
about it, and
Yeah.
it seemed weird.
So it was messy. So we removed that. Now any ships can choose any weapons. We reworked our weapon and defense interacts. Hull have no unique bonuses. One that define which targets they will try to aim first, and one default bonuses
So
synergy
they
with.
now have.
Yes, they now have, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, my French accent. What did you? And we added new modules and we reworked how damages and defenses interact to make it more interesting. So we reinforce the difference between energy and physical weapons, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you have more strategy in terms of ship design and adapting to your opponent's weapon choices.
Okay, so this is something maybe we'll showcase in a couple of
Yeah.
minutes in the thing. I think this pretty much wraps up for the big changes. So
And the best way to see it in game.
yeah, the rest we're going to show you in game right now. So we're just going to switch over to holding screen where you can hear the awesome United Empire theme. If you guys like the Red Army choir, you'll be right at home. And we'll be back in a few minutes with just Maxence and I. So goodbye,
So, see you
Romain.
next
Thanks for
time.
coming.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're back.
Hey.
Well, so thanks for bearing with us. We've just started a game that is actually, we've just started basically all the initial bits, so we can jump right into the middle of the action. So I'm back with Maxence. Again, for those of you just joining us right now, Maxence is Midoc on the forums. He's
Hey.
lead designer on Endless Space 2. I realized I'd never introduced myself. I'm Frog Squadron, that I'm the main guy who talks on the forums. So I'm the one who speaks all the time and never stops. So that's me. Let's just move the game window a bit to the left so we can see the chat. Okay, that will be perfect now. Okay, so do you want to tell me what's happening at turn 55 in this United Empire game?
So I wanted. It's a game we just prepared for the stream, honestly. So it's not a true game. I won't lie. The idea is to show you a bit what's new and what we can do awesome with the United Empire.
So you've seen a lot of the icons actually in the thing are still placeholder in the text screen. So don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
So maybe we should start with the affinity. So as we explained before, the idea is as an emperor you can express your will, and so you have a new button that is only available for them that will use them to buy out with influence. So you can buy out buildings instantly. You can.
It's kind of like the Lumiris with the dust buyout that they're really good at, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And the same for the technology, so it can make them quite interesting. Like if you're lacking something and you need to hurry, you can say, damn it, I would like to have more industry. Oh no, it's too expensive. And sometimes it doesn't work. So the idea is the price of the buyout is depending on how much you invested in science, in the research.
Uh-huh.
So the more you wait, the cheaper it will be, like a normal buyout. So either you can try to grab an old technology for a cheap cost, or you can try to wait a bit and accelerate your production.
Okay.
In terms of turn cost, we changed the pace. Now, until we change the tech tree globally, the first changes we made are the evolution of price within an era is lower. So before, you always have this incremental cost of technology, but it's smoother within an era.
Okay.
But however, the step between two eras is stronger.
Okay.
So it balances
So
out.
it'll just be easier basically to research stuff within the same era
Yeah,
before making the big jump.
that's the idea.
Okay.
As some good players that spent hours on it might have noticed, some technologies change a lot. We grouped coinization together instead of having them on separated technology. So it speed up the pace of early game, create more conflicting situations for the outpost, and so we find
Okay.
it more interesting in terms of game space, and we're eager to have your feedback on that.
So it's to basically promote interaction between players?
Yeah, that's the idea, to
Okay.
emphasis with the outpost mechanics and even to open more options to the players, because sometimes you didn't find the proper planet and it was a bit annoying. You could spend
Yeah.
lots of turns without doing nothing.
Yeah, that's really upsetting when that happens.
Yeah, so now you have 8 starting planets, the 4 temperates, the first one of each climate, plus...
Well, I have a good question actually.
Yeah.
Can the United Empire still buy out with dust?
Yeah, there is a technology here, and like, if I grab it, dash. Oh, I didn't buy the proper one. I misclicked. No, I'm not pressing the right button. Sorry. Okay. I don't have enough influence now, but so yeah, if you take the technology, you have the buyout in dust here that will appear.
Okay, so you'll still have the option. That's good to know.
So yeah, and obviously they can, no, not obviously, they can also use it for the marketplace.
Oh, so this is the first time you guys can see the marketplace?
Yeah, so it's similar to Legend. We added some curves that gives you an idea of the historic of the prices.
Uh-huh.
So you have for the last 20 turns how the prices evolve within the game.
So I've already been told that the current curve, which looks really like a seesaw, is going to change, right?
Yeah, we're working on it.
That was the first iteration, so don't freak out. This is not going to look like this.
And as the game is not a proper game, the curves are not. So far, the AI is just starting to use the marketplace, so it's not that dynamics, and we'll keep working on that to make
Okay.
it really lively. So, as in Endless Legend, you can buy resources on the market, and the price will evolve. And you can also sell the resources you have. So you have one technology in Era 1 that allows you to buy resources, strategic and luxuries, and one in Era 2 that allows you to build ships and heroes.
Okay, so this is the privateers that you mentioned earlier, so you can go and harass
if I buy
your
one,
friends.
so you can set the system where it will spawn.
So it's going to spawn on one of your systems?
Yeah, so you can choose it from the list. So I don't know, let's say I will put it in. I can't read the name from you.
Eridanus.
Eridanus.
A very popular one because, of course, we're all children here.
So I can buy it. It will appear on Eridanus. Oh, that's perfect.
Okay, so here it is.
And he's flagged as a mercenary. He has a specific icons in front of the fleet.
Okay, so that's a mercenary icon.
And I can turn it into privateers. Ta-da!
Okay, and
The idea is it's still stuck with your ships for you, but for opponents, it will appear as a minor faction.
so if they attack you on your system, they will come to your defense.
You can choose them as defender, yeah.
Okay.
They can still help you. Like in Legends, they can still participate.
Okay.
But you will reveal yourself if you do that.
Yeah, that was why I was asking. Yeah, like if you're gonna be sneaky, you don't want people to find you out and know that you're the one bastard that's messing with them.
So it's up to you to choose.
Okay.
So yeah, I will go back through the previous era to introduce a new gameplay maybe, and then we'll focus on
Yeah, sure.
the fourth era. So marketplace is here. We did some changes on the manpower too. So now you have technologies that can increase the maximum stock of manpower you can have in your empires. Like you increase the size of garrison for your militia. And
this is to do what?
and it's to manage your manpower. So we added a new screen called Manpower Management that will allow you to invest manpower and strategic resources in order to improve the statistics of
Okay.
different troops type. Moreover, when you unlock different troop types, you will be able to set how you want to split your manpowers within
Okay.
fleets into manpower troops. So the tanks are NERA 2 technology around here. Up, sorry.
And
Yeah.
is the aircraft
And the
era
aircraft
3?
is in ERA 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So the idea, you have some kind of rock paper scissors between the troops, and you have a stats improvement that can counter a bit that and make you specialists in one type of troops, pushing other people to go for this type.
I see that there is a question. Is there a wiki for the tech trees? I don't see anything. Well, there is no tech tree at the moment, wiki for the tech tree, but that is a very good idea. I think it's probable that we'll have something in the end. It's just that at the moment, considering that things are really moving around, before we invest the time to do it properly, we'd rather have something that is, relatively final before we commit to actually bringing it up to, the wiki.
So yeah, Privateer's technology will be available from ERA 3, by the way. I forgot to tell it, I think. Sorry, I missed it. Sorry, I have bad eyes, so because we're a bit far from the screen.
Yeah, we have a gigantic TV, but it's still far enough that it looks like a normal.
Yeah, Privateers is yeah. So you need to reach ERA 3 to be able to, turn the ships you bought through the marketplace into Privateers. What did we introduce as a new feature? So maybe I should go to ERA 4. So ERA 4 we have lots of placeholder, as you said, because we didn't have time to use all the assets. So the idea is you will have some bonuses that will improve your heroes, like to help them recover faster. Because we want the hero to play specific roles in the end of the game. But I
Okay.
won't tell so much things right now. Because
Okay,
we want to
alright.
keep it a bit secret for now.
I wish you told me.
But yeah, heroes will play some special role for the last part of the game, and so we want to introduce some technologies that will reinforce their power at the upper
Let's
level.
let's just wrap this up, because apparently,
Ah.
you guys, the longer we go on, the longer you
sorry.
have to wait to get the update.
Yeah, I could explain everything bit by bit
So
in detail.
I've just been told, please hurry so that people can play the game. So if it's my fault if I was if I was the one in charge, we'd just keep playing until 8. But it's almost 7, and we promised you guys that we'd push the build soon. So I suggest you just start a quest with the minor faction, and then we'll just take a few questions from the chat, and we'll wrap this up. What do
Maybe
you
we,
think?
we could choose a battle with the United Empire.
Oh yeah,
after the
let's
quest.
let's just bring up a new quest. So
So the quest.
so that's the assist, right?
Yeah, that's the new option assist.
okay,
So you can add quest, and then you obtain an objective that I have to read.
okay.
With your
So
Empire store
total population to 45. Wow.
Okay. So I don't know. Oh,
Is this a scalable objective?
Yeah,
it's
it
really
adapts
high.
to the current.
Okay,
Basically, it takes your current population and asks you to.
Okay, raise the percentage. Okay, because that seemed very high. I was like, if that happens to you in turn 5.
So far, I have like 14, 15, and 14. So I have to gain one more population.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fine in this case.
So the better way we improve a bit this view by now you're able to manage your population in this screen.
That's
and
good. yeah.
also the curiosity and specialization. But that's so.
Okay, let's fight. No?
Yeah, because I won't be able to solve the quest.
Yeah.
So let's fight against this. I think the battle is already started.
Yeah, in the
Like,
corner.
yeah.
It's just a bit tricky because we
close
have
it.
a squash screen.
So just to recap for the battle, what we changed for these updates is how ships choose their targets, the weapons now. But I don't see the tooltip because I'm sorry. The tooltips will show the efficiencies of your ships among the 3 ranges. Because before the weapons were focusing on one ranges, now they
Okay.
are working on different ones with.
So, can you bring up the tooltip again?
I can't.
Okay, so we're in full screen. So yeah, now you can see the thing. Let's bring it up. Okay, so in the bottom left, you have range and efficiencies. So this is mostly like 80% efficient at long range, 81 at medium, and 40% at short range, 46% short range.
And those percentage depends on the type of weapons you put and how many of them. So
okay,
if you're full laser, you would be 100% long range and medium,
Okay.
and 0% short, for instance.
it seems that those are new battle plans as well, maybe. Or is
they were in the first update, but
Okay, so that's just I'm too used to playing the demo. I can't tell the difference
let's
anymore.
look quickly at my ships, and I'm focused long range and medium, so we'll keep a long range.
I think
play.
we're fine with this. Let's just roll.
Up, and let's
Fight. Okay, so who are we fighting? Pirates.
I'm
It's
fighting
another
pirates.
faction. Okay, so this is the first look at the new United Empire ships.
But it's not the new minor faction because we
No,
don't
it's
want
not.
to spoil it.
Yeah, okay. You'll get to see the new models of ships in game.
And if you have any question, we can answer them right now.
Yeah, let's see what we have.
I saw a question earlier.
Yeah.
that I can answer. There are terraforming and animal reduction in Era 4. I didn't show that. But
Okay.
you will
So
be
that's
able
already in
to-
the game from now.
Yeah.
So they are kind of Volterish. Let's just say that the Empire is a lot more syncretic compared to what it was in Endless Space 1. And so it draws from basically all the human factions that used to be in Endless Space 1. I think it's probably like it's correct in saying that. Like so it's kind of in between, and you'll see that if you're interested in what's happened with the rest of the factions, we'll get to that later. Basically.
I don't want to spoil too much on that subject.
Yeah, we're absolutely not mentioning any of that. Next question. So influence circles are enormous at the moment. Will the United Empire be even harder pushing it around?
Yeah, they will, because actually the affinity doesn't help, because even if they produce influence by building stuff, it goes directly to the bank of the empire, so it doesn't affect the growth of the circle.
Okay.
But still, they are quite influence focused thanks to the affinity, so they will certainly have big influence circle.
Okay.
By the way, there is a new mechanics, a change on the mechanics. You can now pacifically convert a system. And so when a system is under your influence, you can use your influence to take it over. And the longer it stays within your influence, the cheaper it will be. So pacifist players have more and more tools to fight against a military threat.
So when will we see a revamp on luxury resources and how they work? The use is very static at the moment, even though we end up getting a lot thanks to the trade routes.
So for luxuries, we'll improve the different way of using them. So at the moment you have the leveling system. We're working currently on the rebellion system that will use luxuries to please people. The marketplace will be a new source of sync as well to generate dust.
Let's bring back the full screen on the two of us. I think we're pretty much done with this, so we can just wrap up with a couple of questions.
Yeah.
And you wanted to show the
Sorry.
Yep, we got a case of having two mice plugged into the computer, so that Etienne, whom you can never see but is always here with us, actually doing the work, can control the computer as well, but at the same time as Maxence, so sometimes we're kind of struggling for control. So let's bring up the Twitch chat on the right here, and actually swap the two windows so we can both read them.
Yes, to finish on the luxury,
Yeah.
what we want to do is to increase the different way you can use them, but we don't want to end up with a player wanting to have all of them at any time, because in Endless Legends that was one of the issues we had in the end, is you always want to keep them and you never sell them on the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is more to create asymmetry in interest for the different luxuries. So some players want this, and the other want another one, and so you want to trade them.
So you wanted to see the Senate. Well, I'm sorry, you'll have to actually start the game yourself. Sure enough, that'll be only a couple of minutes away. Last question. So the influence absorption won't be automatic anymore?
No, it will require you to spend influence to get the system.
Okay. And I actually had another question earlier. When will the Pathfinder heroes be implemented?
I don't know exactly. We don't have a specific ETA. It's work in progress. We will keep you posted when we know more about that.
Okay, all right. So maybe one last question. Are Yui cousins major and Volters major? We already said we're not going to spoil any of that. Is the Sonic race coming? No, it's not.
How could we do that in a
when will the next Beer Together event take place? I actually had seen this one a couple of times. The next Beer Together is going to be the Endless Day on the 19th of January this year, I think is going to be. So look forward to that. And okay, I really enjoy the choice between 3 different story missions in Endless Space 2. Any chance there will be an update to Endless Legend adding the choice of quests there? Wow.
It's a lot of work in terms of writing, in terms of gameplay, and in terms of art, so I don't know. It would be a huge expansion in itself, I think, if we wouldn't.
The answer is highly unlikely, and this is not a question about Endless Space 2, so I'm sorry, but your question gets a pass. Is religion part of the game? Nope.
There is a political party called Religious that are focused on religion, and we might have some stuff that we will reveal soon that are a bit tied to religion.
Oh, okay.
But not as a mechanics as you can expect in Civilization.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, it's not religion as you know it in other strategy game. It's religion as part of the politics of the game, really. And if there's more stuff, it's going to come later.
The Inference is planned for the release. We want to work with Devil Dog on them, so we started to think internally on how we can make them, and soon we'll contact Devil Dog for the design and the others for the respective parts to take the time to work with the people that won the contest to bring Inference to life.
Okay, so it seems that the update actually was pushed live, so we're just gonna wrap it up here. Well, thank you all for being here with us. It's the first time we're actually having a stream so late, I think. Next time we'll be in a different room because we actually have a brand new streaming room that is being set up right now. So we look forward to seeing you there. It's probably going to be, in a few weeks from now, maybe a month and a half, couple of months, when we have the next big thing to show you. So again, thanks to all of you for showing up. And we hope you enjoy. And also, don't forget to update your game now and get to it.
Have fun.
Bye.
Under the visionary leadership of Emperor Zelivus, we have become a proud and powerful nation. It is time to rise up, grasp our future, and seek our destiny among the stars. Imagine the future that we can build. We shall construct great fleets, send them out to make great discoveries, and through their conquests, secure our place in this rich galaxy. We will discover new sciences and new life. We will greet new peoples and turn them into new patriots. Together, we shall leave our mark on history. For together, we can become anything our hearts desire. Whatever the cost, whatever the effort, let us not shy away from the greatness that is our birthright.